Now on 767 News, body of the late former president Dr. Nicholas Liverpool arrives on island for burial. Phase 2 of Silver Lake housing project to be completed by year's end, and DHTA and Tourism Minister condemns robbery of Australians following test series. In sports, Table Tennis Association to host a national competition after 7 years. Welcome everyone, I'm Alicia George and you're watching 767 News. Join me for the latest news and updates happening across Dominica after this break.
The Dominica Football Association presents the second leg of the FIFA World Cup Russia 2018 qualifiers. Canada versus Dominica, live at the Windsor Park Stadium. Thursday, June 11 from 7 p.m. Come shout at the top of your voices for Randolph Skelly Peltier, Michelle Baggio Joseph, Julian Juju Wade. The price is only $15 for adults and children under 12 pay only $5. You can't afford to miss this great football action. Canada versus Dominica. Canada versus Dominica. Thursday, June 11th, live at the Windsor Park Stadium. It's a goal! Dominica won! 767.
Thanks for joining me on today's edition of 767 News. In tonight's newscast, government officials and senior officials were gathered at the Douglas Charles Airport in Melville Hall on Tuesday to welcome the body of the late former president of Dominica, Dr. Nicholas Liverpool. The arrival of the body comes 1 week after the former president passed away while receiving treatment in Miami. During a meeting with local media personnel on Tuesday, Senior Information Officer of the Government Information Service, Mervyn Paul, told media representatives that Dominica's sixth president, His Excellency Dr. Nicholas J. O. Liverpool, will be given a state funeral by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica on Friday, June 19, 2015. The funeral service will take place at the Granby Roman Catholic Church from 3 p.m., while viewing of Dr. Liverpool's body will commence at 2 p.m. on June 19th. The funeral will be followed by interment at the Granby Catholic Cemetery. Meantime, 1 day before his burial, the body of the former president will lie in state at the State House building on Victoria Street on June 18th from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Dr. Liverpool died at the age of 80, leaving to mourn his wife Verna and 5 children. The funeral service will be carried live via local radio and television broadcasting companies. In other stories, Honorable Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Roosevelt Skerrit has once again endorsed the island's National Employment Program, NEP, and the apparent benefits of the initiative. During the government's latest press briefing, the Prime Minister announced that he had made available $3.6 million to the Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment towards the NEP program. The funding, he said, was to accommodate payment of NEP employees for the next few months.
We've always maintained that the NEP is a transitionary program. It's not a permanent program. We always maintain that it is an opportunity to give people who have the skills, who want university, an opportunity to use their skills in a gainful manner and to gain work experience.
A number of people, because of their diligence, have now been employed as full-time staff at their respective jobs, the Prime Minister said. According to Prime Minister Skerrit, the National Employment Program is all about empowering the young people of Dominica.
What we're seeking to do with regards to the community enhancement project, for example, the young people who were there maintaining the roads and planting flowers, is that our hope is that they could form themselves into some company. And I have asked the Ministry of Employment to provide them with technical support to doing that. Form themselves into companies, and the government would contract their services.
Prime Minister Skerrit also spoke on the farming program under the NEP, where a number of people will engage for a period of 6 months. These farmers, he said, can now sell their produce on the local market. The ministry has gone further and has deployed government officials to conduct field assessments for those participants to ensure that monies are being utilized effectively. Prime Minister Skerrit went on to dispel the idea that the NEP is a means for persons to secure monthly salaries, noting that a number of persons have been laid off by the ministry because of their lack of work ethic.
Nobody must read the NEP as the government give you money and you lineman. It's not going to happen. It's not lineman money. It's not money it's money being paid to you to do work. So this is a message that we've been sending to everybody who is employed under the program. And this is why some people have been laid off because they have not been working. They have not been diligent. So there are people who have been laid off by the Ministry of Responsible NAP. We're very serious about this thing. If there are reports from a supervisor in the field that the person hasn't come to work today, hasn't come to work tomorrow, he hasn't come to work for the week or 2 weeks, he's removed and he doesn't get paid.
There are 1,326 people fully engaged under the NEP, according to the Prime Minister. And the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, DHTA, and the Minister of Tourism, Senator Robert Tong, on Tuesday condemned the robbery of 3 Australian visitors last weekend following the Test series against West Indies. The DHTA, via a press release, said they are shocked by the incident and offered an apology to the victims while condemning any and all crimes against visitors and residents. According to the DHTA, Dominica is known as one of the safest islands in the Caribbean, and this incident reflects terribly on all efforts to be hospitable to visitors and keep Dominica safe. The association said the public must be reminded that visitors are important economic drivers when on the island, as they stay in hotels, eat at restaurants, purchase from vendors, use the services of taxi drivers and tour guides, and visit shops. DHTA said they will lend their full support to law enforcement and expects the perpetrators to be brought to justice. They are calling on the public to assist the police with the ongoing investigations, and anyone with information on the incident should report it to the police or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Senator Robert Tong also released a statement on the incident.
We have been told that the majority of visitors enjoyed their stay and took the opportunity to visit many of our natural scenic spots in Dominica, especially the hot water baths. However, we are troubled by the incident which took place during the period of our visitor stay on island that left at least one visitor with non-life-threatening injuries. We are deeply saddened by this incident, and our thoughts are with the individual and any other who may have encountered unpleasantness during their stay with us. As the Ministry of Tourism, we value all visitors to our beautiful shores and place a high premium on the safety of our citizens and visitors alike, and regard any such occurrences as unacceptable.
Senator Tong said the government of Dominica is working closely with the authorities to ensure a thorough investigation will be conducted into the matter.
We want to ensure all our visitors that Dominica remains one of the safest Caribbean islands. While these incidents are rare, the Ministry of Tourism continues to work closely with the law enforcement to ensure that Dominica remains safe for residents and visitors. We appeal to every citizen of the land to complement the beauty of this country. Be kind, be loving, be a friend to all visitors to our shores. Tourism is everybody's business.
The second phase of the Silver Lake housing project is expected to be completed by year-end. This according to Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The Prime Minister made the statement following a visit at the recently constructed rent-to-own apartments in the Bafistet Emsall area. Phase 2 of the project began on Tuesday, January 27th, with the demolition of one of the old longhouses constructed in the early 1980s.
We made a commitment to Silver Lake that we will build apartments for them. We built the first set of apartments, and notwithstanding that we lost the seat in the last election, the same week after the election, we started the construction of the apartments.
Prime Minister Skerrit said his government will keep true to its promise to construct the apartments at Silver Lake, noting that one's living condition is a variable used to determine their poverty level.
Because our commitment is the 3% of people who have been identified as indigent, that we are going to get them out of this thing. And what we're doing in the government is to not only talk about a community that is poor, but we have the names of the families, the households, and what we are doing, we are targeting these families. So not the village only, we're targeting the families.
The construction of these additional homes are in accordance with the government's mandate to build 1,500 homes for underprivileged families in Dominica. Government launched the Silver Lake housing project in October 2013 at the cost of $1 million. 1 year later, 6 families called the apartments home. Contractor on the project is Felix Thomas. Up next, Public Works Chairman defends protest action and Bush Rum Fest to form part of Nature Island Food and Drink Festival. More details on these and other stories when 767 News returns.
Play Daily 3 and get a chance to win daily cash from $20 to $100. For every $9 or more spent on Daily 3, you get a chance to win daily cash instantly. Up to $100 cash daily for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every day. Plus, there's a chance to win a refrigerator if you receive an entry form. Take a chance to win instant cash all day, all week for 6 weeks with Daily 3 daily cash promotion. Only from the Dominica National Lottery.
Fresher foods, bold flavors, more time. Get it all with appliances from Quartz. Purchase any appliance $999 and over. You can be a weekly winner of $200 cash. Plus, purchase any Mabe appliance and win $11,000 in prizes of your choice. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 60 days. So find the solutions for your kitchen and laundry only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome back. Chairman of the Public Works Corporation Board of Directors, Titus Francis, says the ongoing protest action by the employees of the Public Works Corporation is legal. The employees who have been on protest action for almost a month said their actions are justified to rectify delayed salary payment in addition to non-payment of Social Security and income tax and their working conditions. However, Francis says there are procedures in the Industrial Relations Act for which the employees are breaching.
Instead of telling the employees that he will get support for them in their cause, he should also tell them that their action is illegal. Illegal in the sense that, one, you cannot seize the property of the employer. Two, he should tell them that you cannot embark on strike action unless, in fact, you can embark on strike action if you want, but unless a dispute has been declared and a 14-day has not elapsed where there is a response from the appropriate authority, the minister responsible for labor. Any protest action undertaken by employees during that time, according to the Industrial Relations Act, is illegal.
Francis said he hopes that Later, who is encouraging the employees to continue their protest action, is prepared to defend them when it escalates to the point where the relevant sections of the Industrial Relations Act is applied. Later also advised the employees that they should not feel threatened by Public Works Minister Ian Pinard, who on Friday, June 5th, ordered the employees to cease the protest action and return to work on Monday, June 9th.
We are going to speak to the employees. We have already spoken to the employees. The employees were addressed on Friday morning, telling them that the action was in fact unacceptable, and we will do what is necessary to repossess, so to speak, and that's a strange word to use in the circumstances, but to repossess the premises in favor of the employer.
Francis said while he understands the role of Later as a union leader representing the employees, he is hopeful that Later does not continue to mislead them, as there are proper procedures for embarking on protest action outlined in the Industrial Relations Act. Francis also responded to reports that some of the employees engaged in the protest action were not paid.
Legal to not to pay an employee who has embarked on protest or strike action where the strike action is illegal, according to the Act.
The Board of Directors were expected to host a meeting earlier today to discuss the alleged illegal protest action at the Public Works Corporation. Meanwhile, the Dominica Public Service Union will on Wednesday, June 10th, host a press conference outside of the Public Works Corporation at 8:30 a.m., where the General Secretary Thomas Later is expected to address the media on the protest action and other matters relating to the employees. In other stories, parents are being urged to ensure that their children stay away from drugs. This message came from Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Wicks following the recent seizure of 66 kilos of cocaine, which resulted in the arrest of 5 young men.
As a nation, we all have to look forward together working together to minimizing its impact, because it has its effect as well on the social sector, and that brings to bear pressure on the health sector as well. The national security area, that's a national security issue, the illicit drug trade, for any jurisdiction for that matter. Families are disrupted or become dysfunctional. Children, their education stops or it's aborted by virtue of that. The health sector, like I said, many of them may well be permanent fixtures at the APU, the mental hospital.
ASP Wicks said the drug trade has been detrimental or has detrimental effects on any country and its citizenry. Hence, parents must jealously guard their children from getting involved.
It's an army of men and women who are operating. They have structures and systems in place. That's why it is deemed or coined the organized crime, international organized crime. There are structures, these systems and groups or syndicates. They have hierarchy of structure and command, and it's so dangerous as well that there is death in it as well, and that is why particularly parents and families who are aware that their children are embarking on this illicit activity, you have a right to put your foot down and don't condone it. There ought not to be any tacit approval or complicity in ensuring that the drug trade thrives.
He said the drug trade is a global phenomenon which all law enforcement agencies are fighting to minimize, and the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is no different.
Just as cancer is deadly, so too the illicit drug trade, trafficking, which brings about organized crime, money laundering, and it can be tied. You have narco trafficking of drugs, organized crime, international organized crime, and so forth.
The police PRO said the police force will continue to work ceaselessly in achieving its mandate, one of which is protecting life and property. Moving along, in an effort to encourage a healthy eating environment at schools, the 4-H Club of Dominica, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, held a Healthy Baked Challenge as part of the 4-H Festival. During this challenge, students from schools across the island were given an opportunity to reformulate the original recipe for our locally made bakes into something healthier. The finished product from each team was judged based on sensory appeal, creativity, ease of adaptation, and nutritional value. The challenge was aimed at encouraging the students to develop healthy recipes in order to create a healthy eating environment among schools on the island. The Healthy Baked Challenge was launched by Lindy Riley, a Dominican student pursuing a doctorate in nutrition at the University of Saskatchewan in Canada. The Dominica Grammar School 4-H Club emerged victorious with their DGS Cookie Bakes recipe, while the St. Mary's Academy came in second with their Tropical Raisins and Coconut Bakes, and the Goodwill Secondary School came in third place with their Golden Brown Lentils Bakes. And several activities, including an ITIL Food and Bushram Fest, have been planned for the first ever Nature Island Food and Drink Festival. As part of the festival, Dr. Silk Asara will host a Unity and ITIL Fest at the Harlem Plaza on day 2 of the 3-day-long festival. The Unity and ITIL Fest is a collaboration between Kala Amor, Managing Director of Vetivert Inc., and Dr. Silk Asara, host of Unity Fest.
He's going to have a level of art and craft, farmers markets, his drummers, his entertainment, food going on, all during the day, whereas we are going to have the actual workshops and the education side of it. So we're going to have shuttles going from one to the other that is going to spur more of a unity in what we're offering, A. B, a more cohesive and interesting take on all of these ITIL concepts that we're talking about.
Amor was speaking during the media launch of the Nature Island Food and Drink Festival on May 29th. She said it is collaboration like this which will allow entertainment in Dominica to become more successful.
He was having his feast the same day as us, and he said, no, let's come together And I was like, oh, thank God, sometimes in Dominica we just do our thing. We don't even know that we're doing these things. And we're so separated from what we're doing instead of coming together and making a bigger impact.
Dr. Silka Sarah, host of Unity Fest, said his event was quite similar to the concept of the Nature Island Food and Drink Festival, and so he is happy to come on board.
We're going to focus on entertainment, since here is focused more on the workshops and getting people, to enjoy the tastes of the drinks and foods. The entertainment segment will be of good quality, I imagine. We have Gator Sound. We also have Arden Sounds that we work with. We have some of the finest artists in the island in terms of reggae, soul, dancehall, calypso as well. So we trying to bring the best.
The Unity and Ital Fest, Dr. Asara said, draws supporters from the neighboring islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique and could add great value to the overall Nature Island Festival. Other activities expected to take place as part of the 3-day event includes workshops, the Island Chef Competition, a kids farm-to-table experience, and various exhibits. This year's featured guest is Carlos Laville, a Dominican-born chef based in Toronto, Canada. In addition to conducting several workshops, Laville will join other panelists in judging the Island Chef Competition from July 2nd to 4th. The Nature Island Food and Drink Festival will also run from July 2nd to the 4th. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports is coming up next with Larry LaRocque, so stay tuned.
Play Daily 3 and get a chance to win daily cash from $20 to $100. For every $9 or more spent on Daily 3, you get a chance to win daily cash instantly. Up to $100 cash daily for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every day. Plus, there's a chance to win a refrigerator if you receive an entry form. Take a chance to win instant cash all day, all week for 6 weeks with Daily 3 Daily Cash promotion. Only from the Dominica National Lottery.
The Dominica Football Association presents the second leg of the FIFA World Cup. Russia 2018 qualifiers. Canada versus Dominica. Live at the Windsor Park Stadium. Thursday, June 11 from 7 p.m. Come shout at the top of your voices for Randolph Skelly Peltier, Michelle Baggio Joseph, Julian Juju Wade. The price is only $15 for adults and children under 12 pay only $5. You can't afford to miss this great football action. Canada versus Dominica. Canada versus Dominica. Thursday, June 11th, live at the Windsor Park Stadium. It's a goal! Dominica won! 767.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with table tennis. Table tennis is seeing a revival in Dominica with the staging of the National Table Tennis Competition on Saturday, June 13, 2015 at the Goodwill Primary School from 10 a.m. The current executive of the Dominica Table Tennis Association, DTTA, elected in June of 2014 for a period of 2 years, is determined to restore table tennis to its former glory when the likes of Brett Stevens and others were at the top of their game. A national table tennis competition has not been held for several years, and the competition will cover all age groups at all levels, including persons with disabilities. Players are required to register at the office of the Dominica Olympic Committee, DOC, by Thursday, June 11, 2015. Registration is only $10. In more table tennis, coaches and players have the opportunity to be part of an excellent training program in Zhejiang, China from July 8 to August 6, 2015, organized by the Training and Certification Center of the Department of Commerce in Zhejiang, China. Marie Antoinette Moro, president of the DTTA, said, "This is an excellent opportunity for coaches and players to participate in such a prestigious training program. Only 20 table tennis coaches and players from developing countries worldwide will be selected to participate, and they are extremely grateful to have been included in this program. Participants will receive theoretical knowledge of table tennis, adaptation and recovery training, basic technique training, and technical, tactical, and physical training. The program will improve players' techniques and share China's advanced ideas on table tennis, as well as promote the development of both coaches and players through a scientific and systematic way of training. Persons interested in attending the training program are asked to send an email to domtta@gmail.com, expressing their interest no later than Wednesday, 10th June 2015. And in cricket, the West Indies Cricket Board has announced that the second Professional Cricket League player draft will be staged on Thursday, June 18th in the Kyron Room of the Accra Beach Hotel in Barbados from 10:30 a.m. The player draft has been organized with the goal of achieving equitable distribution of the available player talent in the Regional 40 and Nagico Super 50 tournaments. Each franchise will contract a minimum of 15 players as follows: 10 players pre-selected from the home territory, 5 players drafted from the player pool with a minimum of 2 from outside the home territory, and each franchise can have 1 international player at its own cost. The 6 franchises shall participate in the player draft through the chairman of the selectors or head coach. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. We now go to the Met Office for today's weather report.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Vernie Masler Honore. Today's satellite imagery showed the movement of low-level clouds across the area, resulting in occasional cloudy skies across Dominica. Radar imagery indicated a few scattered showers across the island during the course of today. Tonight's weather is expected to be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with a few scattered showers. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow. Sea conditions tomorrow: moderate in open water, with waves expected to pick up to 7 feet. And looking ahead, an increase in cloudiness and shower activity is expected on Thursday as a tropical wave moves across the area. By Friday, partly cloudy skies and haze is once again expected, along with an increase in wind speed. And across the region tomorrow, an increase in cloudiness, scattered showers, and possible thunderstorm activity are expected across the southern portion of the chain as the tropical wave approaches the region. Across the remainder of the islands, occasional cloudiness with scattered showers are expected. And on the international scene tomorrow, clear skies are expected in New York, Caracas, and Beijing, partly cloudy skies in London, and the chance of thunderstorm activity in Miami. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:34 a.m. and will set at 6:35 p.m. For further information, visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for joining us this evening. Have a good night.
That was the Met Office with today's weather report. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. Body of the late former president, Dr. Nicholas Liverpool, arrives on island for burial. Phase 2 of the Silver Lake housing project to be completed by year's end, and DHTA and Tourism Minister condemns robbery of Australians following test series. In Sports, Table Tennis Association to host national competition after 7 years. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening and thanks for watching.